Welcome back to Dota 2 Asian Championship. This is the final, potentially final game of the day. This is the final match of the tournament. EG is leading 2-0, and I'm here in the panel with Merlini, Asian Merlini, and Australian Merlini. How's it going, guys? I said, how's it going, guys?
Which Merlini are you asking?
Oh, I'm asking Merlini.
Okay.
Okay, one at a time. Gods, how are you enjoying this match so far, or are you not enjoying it at all?
You know, the games have been kind of one-sided. I've been enjoying it just from like the strategical point of view of like PPD. He's coming to this series with a game plan. His team's performing better than they have all tournament. And Vici Gaming, though, that's where I'm not enjoying it. They have not adapted. They're not playing to their game, and we're possibly in for a fast 3-0 series.
Ben, are you impressed by EG? Are you unimpressed by Vici Gaming?
A little bit of both. I mean, watching EG yesterday versus Secret, like Vici have to have, like they have to be going in knowing that EG is very formidable. They need to pull out some really good strats, and the outdrafts are just unreal. Yeah, I would say PPD's just like masterminded some of these drafts and just completely owned them. Like even yesterday, like the last game, second game for Secret versus EG, everyone's like, oh, it's going into game 3 because the draft looked like it sucked, and they just won in a very convincing fashion. So even though these drafts might not look good at first glance, they always work out pretty masterfully for PPD's team.
Winter, Vici Gaming has failed at laning properly in these couple matches. Do you think at this point, I'm sure that they realize that as well, so my question to you is, at this point, do you go for something super safe to make sure that you win the lanes, or you just go full out grid and try to make sure that even if one or two of your lanes are not going your way, you have a strong jungler or you have an off-laner doing well?
I think the laning phase needs to be put more emphasis. Like the last game, it was a very good example that heroes that needed to win the early game, and they didn't do so. So they gave EG basically, even if the game was 0-0, 10 minutes in, just the laning phase, EG would have at least 3, 4, 5k lead, maybe 3 to 4k lead, because the lanes are better, and it's not only on the go, it's because their heroes make use of the go better. They pick faster. So I mean, everyone expected the aggressive trying, but it didn't happen. So this game, I feel VG, they need to pay more attention onto this thing along the laning phase and make sure that they do not give EG too much of room during the first 10 minutes.
Every big tournament has a hero that stands out throughout the tournament, and mostly the finals. We remember the Nature Prophet and the Tiny Wisp at TI3. At TI4 we have again Nature's Prophet, the Ancient Apparition from the side of Vici Gaming. These finals, I don't think we've seen a single hero that has stood out that said, oh, this team is winning because they're using this particular hero. Is there anyone that stands out for you, or anyone that you would wish you would want to see?
I think the closest has maybe been Batrider for me, but obviously that's getting banned out quite a bit more than it's being picked some of the time. So we saw that game there, the Batrider coming into huge effect. Game 1, it was banned out. So I think Batrider is one of those picks we're going to see get banned out more and more, and it seems to be maybe one of the big influential heroes, though.
There's been a rise and fall of so many heroes. First it was Troll, then Jug, Axe has kind of disappeared, Medusa, rise and fall, Shadow Fiend, rise and fall, then Sniper, rise and fall.
Wisp
been
as well,
everything.
coming and going.
Yeah, it's been a really cool tournament to see how all the strategies develop, and like now, some Pandas made somewhat of a resurgence too. So it's very interesting to see.
K-pop, I think 97 out of 105 heroes have been picked. Am I correct in believing that? In any case, it's a lot of heroes. We've seen pretty much a lot of versatility. There's only a couple ones that haven't been around, and most understandably so, because they're very fringe picks. But this tournament, in terms of hero pool, has been amazing. People are asking for 684 right now. Before we go into the game, is there anything that we would wish would change based on what you saw this tournament?
I personally just like it. It's like what we mentioned before. The rock, paper, and scissors in the drafting phase is it couldn't be more evident that almost everything can work.
Ben?
I'd just like to see some of the weaker heroes buff, like Huskar or something like that.
I'm the same. I don't think any of the top common heroes we're seeing need major nerfs. I think it's much more about your Huskers, your Kunkers, the heroes that aren't getting picked up too much, getting some tweaks to make them a bit stronger in the 6.8.
No mini stun and explosions on Axe, where he cooling blades.
Axe doesn't need a buff. I'm okay with Axe with where he is. I'm sorry, Lumi, but
fair enough. Well, what do you say we go into the draft of this game 3 and see if EG can take it all straight away or Vici Gaming can stage their comeback?
I say yes.
Let's go then. Draft looks like this. Venge and Chen being banned. Chen has been one of those heroes that kind of came as a surprise at the beginning of the tournament, and after people realized how strong it was, how powerful it was to get that Granite Golem, to get that quick axe on Chen, just the ability to have Hand of God, and now it seems
It's much more about your Huskers, your Kunkers, the heroes that aren't getting picked up too much, getting some tweaks to make them a bit stronger in the 6.8.
no mini stun and explosions on Axe where he Cooling Blades.
Axe doesn't need a buff. I'm okay with Axe with where he is. I'm sorry, Lumi, but
Fair enough. Well, what do you say we go into the draft of this game 3 and see if EG can take it all straight away or Vici Gaming can stage their comeback?
I say yes.
Let's go then.
5 seconds.
Draft looks like this.
Remaining.
Venge and Chen being banned. Chen
Reserve
has been one of those heroes that kind of came as a surprise at the beginning of the tournament, and after people realized how strong it was, how powerful it was to get that Granite Golem, to get that quick axe on Chen, just the ability to have Hand of God, and now it seems like it's a permaban.
I think Aui's really delivered in this grand finals. First on the Skywrath, I think he did a really good job of shutting down Phoenix and delaying his 6, because that's really what they needed, because they weren't getting any Blink Daggers on the supports, and on top of that, his Enigma in game 1 was pretty good, I would say.
He did a good job on his hero.
Yeah.
I think the one here that EG picked that Vici Gaming may eye off themselves this game is the Earthshaker as well, because of how much it can guarantee your offlaner goes well with that one fissure block, and then also it's a good hero to kind of roam, and if Sumail plays something like a Tinker or a Storm or a Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, a good hero to actually gank him with and get that block on the high ground pathway.
Yeah. K-pop confirms that it's 98 heroes pick out of 106 available. So again, yeah, lots of heroes, only 8 heroes not picked. Vici Gaming is going to take the Shadow Fiend. Didn't work for Black very well on game 1, but it very well could work, and it could be also... has Super played Shadow Fiend at all? I want to say yeah.
He's had a couple games.
Yeah. But they do ban the Bad Rider.
It's good to pick Shadow Fiend here. They're Radiant and EG. Once they remove the Sniper, the Shadow Fiend becomes irresistible. Like, very good now in the Radiant side, and Sniper out of the pool.
10 seconds.
The other hero that
remaining.
can set up potential early ganks like the Sniper can is Invoker
5 seconds.
against Shadow Fiend.
Remaining.
Should you be concerned about, not maybe of course a first round pick, but a Queen of Pain eventually?
Yeah,
We saw that.
possibly, but Queen of Pain is not so reliable in certain scenarios that we watch in the previous games, and sometimes she can work, sometimes it's like so difficult, she gets killed and she just falls off the whole game.
Super is 4-1 on Shadow Fiend this tournament, by the way, so...
Shadow Friend.
The Shadow,
Friend.
Black is hence 2-1. He was 2-0 before this game. Now he's 2-1 because he
10
lost game 1.
seconds remaining.
But PPD gonna secure the Earthshaker as well. And
5
we were talking about how key this hero was. Well, we'll get to see him again. You know, when Earthshaker changed the fissure that the creeps would block instead of trying to go around the fissure, I was very surprised because I thought, well, this is a buff, because before you could just make sure, like, you had to have a good fissure, the creeps could turn around, you would delay them for like 3-4 seconds, but now it's the full fissure duration. So the creeps will be stay blocked for 8 seconds. That means you delayed your safe lane or your off lane by 8 seconds. That's a lot. That means pretty much that the creep wave is going to encounter yours near the tower.
You can't ancient pull though. You can't ancient pull or redirect to the
Yes,
big
that
keep
is
and
true.
then-
But for the offlaner, it feels pretty
For
strong.
offlaner, it's still really strong, especially since they made offlane like it venture out that far on Radiant.
Dire Boys once more. Enigma with the Earthshaker, a lot of team fight.
Zero laning presence, so that's the one thing where these two supports can
Yeah,
be
but
kind of
they
punished.
got away with it in the first game, so that's why I feel Vici Gaming have to avoid the same thing happening again. They had Rubik Lash the first game, but it didn't end up helping the lanes too much. But let's see this game, what do they go for to actually punish this Enigma and Earthshaker? The supports, they don't really have much laning presence early on.
The beauty of this draft is that it's not telling that much from EG. We saw both these heroes being played before, so it's nothing new, but they have the 3 cores still to pick, so they could go in any direction they want, and they could, yeah.
Maybe they go for Rubik again, because Rubik are usually very useful against these two heroes, and at the same time doesn't reveal too much about what you're going to go into in the next few heroes.
The other hero I feel like they may kind of lean towards, not so much as a
They-
second pick, or third, fourth pick, is maybe the Ice Brood. You know there's no good laning support. You haven't seen what Fierce Hero is going to be as a safe lane
Yeah,
farmer.
that's
but
actually a very good point, because in the first game they went for Shadowfiend Tidehunter opening, so
Yeah.
which doesn't allow the option of the Brood coming in later.
it's something I feel EG would need to ban out if Vici Gaming pick a support.
Yeah,
very
it's
good
good ban.
against this sort of supports where they don't have laning presence.
Well, it's going to be the
Okay.
Clockwork.
I like Clockwork a lot here. I was like theory crafting heroes for Ice. I think Clockwork and Timber are his like highest impact offlaners that are just really difficult to deal with, especially Earthshaker. Like they couldn't control Earthshaker all game last time, and he didn't have a blink for a really long time. His
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't. Yeah, it didn't matter. Now that they have a Clockwork, they can actually just shut him down and kill him really quickly, which is really important. Their initiation last game was simply terrible.
Vici Gaming has played 2 times the Clockwork in this tournament. They're 2-0. Granted, Vici Gaming has won most of their games, but yeah, Ice has played it 2 times.
This game would mostly mean Super will be playing the Shadowfiend, because Ice is on a less farming orientated heroes. Then they will have a semi-core and a heavy core for Black. So I think this is more likely a Super Shadowfiend, and they're going to go for a safe lane hero for Black.
Ben mentioned, I think, at the end of the last game that Black should be playing more of these kind of aggressive fighting heroes. Do you kind of agree that you don't want him on like too heavy of a farmer?
What are their options here?
Can he go Slark?
Jug or Slack with a kind of...
Yeah, Juggernaut or Slug, and
Yeah, Bristol is still an option, I suppose, but
Invoker.
Black's
we've
Invoker
never
was something
seen
fun.
him pick that. I don't know. I feel Invoker, it could actually be situationally good with the Clockwork.
I wonder if the Templar Assassin ban from Vici Gaming is not indicating that they might want to pick Ember Spirit again.
No, it's just against Shadowfiend.
Shadowfiend.
It means the Shadowfiend is going mid, more or less.
I like the Sand ban. Vici very often picks Sand versus an Enigma to match the greedy jungler, since they seem to be bad at punishing it. So instead of punishing it by killing them, they punish it with the greed of their own.
Reserve time.
They tried punishing the Chen, but it didn't work with the
No.
Bounty Hunter.
EG doesn't mean particularly phased about the Rubik pick. They're like, let FY pick the Rubik.
They
The Lion
lost
is probably
Rubik is
yeah,
0-2
0-2
this
against
series.
them. But at the same time, it is FY and it's the Rubik. It's his trademark hero. Can win him a game all on its own.
Isn't
so.
EG setting up for, I don't know, maybe like a storm pick on Sumail? They're banning out the instant stunner on Sand King, banning out the hard disabler on the Lion,
Yeah,
and I think it's already setting up for a really good storm.
very good possibility. And if Vici doesn't go for any supports that have heavy lockdown or any sort of way to deal with the mobile hero like a Storm, so they're actually gonna take away the Juggernaut. Now they have again a double melee lane. Vici has to do something about this. They can't let EG get away with the greedy jungle hero, double melee lane, and just don't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
But at least the Clockwork will be able to.
Yeah, Clockwork
Find a
is-
lot of
at
farm.
least he can farm pretty decently in the lanes.
Yep.
Skyrath would be a very good aggressive support that can actually make plays around the map and roam around to at least try and set up a kill or two for his team. So that could be a possible good option here for Vici Gaming.
And if they don't punish the Earthshaker's juggling, the other thing they can do is something like Cloud9s, where you have someone like a Bane just making sure Sumail gets no farm mid, and the Shadow Fiend is kind of guaranteed like a really easy lane.
Mm-hmm.
They go for team fight support. Witch Doctor works very well with the Clockwork, good in the lane, melodic as well.
Which Doctor has been throughout the tournament one of Vici Gaming's favorite heroes, and
Favorite carry heroes.
yeah, but it's one of those heroes that hasn't been working so well for them. They're only 3 and 2, and compared to the other heroes, that I mean, if you look at most of the heroes, they're 5 and 0, 6 and 1, 4 and 2, 5 and 1. Which Doctor is, out of all the heroes that they like to pick a lot, one of their weakest.
Well, it's hard to gauge sometimes that way, because maybe it's like the pairing of the support partner sometimes that results in which Doctor doesn't work with certain hero, or they had a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
Can't let the stats deter you from picking a hero that might actually be good.
Yep.
It's a team fight support, like could be good against if you can actually pull off a full duration death ward, as always.
Yeah.
So EG, they have their core hero, they have their greedy support, they have their position 6 support, Earthshaker,
Now they probably want the offlaner here.
universe hero,
Yeah.
and they always leave the last hero for Sumail.
Unless they really want the Storm. Like, if they decide this is the Storm game,
Mhm.
where there's not enough heroes to deal with it,
which Doctor is fairly weak against Storm.
yeah. So
Okay.
they'll get the Storm. You're right in that they almost always last pick Sumails here, but I think it's like, they're going to ban Storm, and what would we then be left with? The Brewmaster, perhaps, which...
Yeah, this is a very good Storm game already, based on the first 3 heroes, and they probably want to get the Beastmaster to complement the Storm once again,
Yeah.
as they usually do.
Does Vici Gaming want to go for the Rubik once again? Oh, they're gonna go to the Terrorblade.
Yeah, the heavy call.
I was wondering why they banned out the Tinker as opposed to the Storm, and it makes more sense now, because since they already have a Clockwork, which I feel is already pretty good at shutting down a Tinker, Shadow Fiend can like do decently versus him one-on-one.
Terrorblade plus Shadow Fiend together on Vici Gaming. I think that should be a combination that has a very good win rate. I remember watching a few games that I played that. It was very devastating. Early pushing power from the mech with Shadow Fiend, Terrorblade with all the minus armor Shadow Fiend provides is just very, very powerful in a 5v5 match. And now it makes sense that why they even go for the Witch Doctor, because they already set up themselves into a very strong 5-man orientated lineup.
Checking right
And it
now.
was a good call with the heavy carry, with Ice Ice not playing a terribly farm-dependent hero.
Yeah. They usually want to have more farmer when they pick Clockwork on the other 2 heroes.
These 2 heroes have played together 3 times in 683, and they're 2 and 1.
I mean, Terrorblade has just been long forgotten.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she's
Only
just
31
been-
picks in 683. So one of those heroes that since the nerf, people are not caring about much anymore.
Wow, they still ban out the Brood Mother?
What do you mean?
Okay.
Brood in theory could give Terrorblade a lot of issues in that
Yeah,
safe lane.
Their heroes would be a bit... Well, I guess it could still work, but feels like a bit very greedy.
Well, I think EG can afford going for grid right now, since Vici Gaming has shown that they don't have
Yeah, true.
the strongest of lanes. They're gonna get the Zeus.
Offlane Zeus versus Terrorblade.
How do you like this matchup?
It's good versus the hero. I'm not, like, the laning phase...
The laning phase is mid, but yeah, it's very good at singling out the right Terrorblade and then just jump on him with Storm, especially if he gets BKB later.
Yeah.
They don't have a Dazzle, so they don't really have a good way to protect the Terrorblade. I feel like... I mean, they can go a couple of ways now. They can go like a Silencer to, have some sort of disable versus Storm, some sort of cover versus Enigma, some sort of cover for Terrorblade, or they can all out commit to the push at this point.
Omni Knight?
More early game. Yeah, Omni Knight I think would actually be pretty decent too.
Well, with EG's lanes, I think you can afford an Omni Knight very
Yeah,
easily.
they're not going to punish that, but...
They need something to pair with the Terrorblade though.
Push.
For take all the wards. Actually, they used that yesterday, I think.
Therefore, Serpent Ward, Healing Ward.
Yeah.
Together.
Too many wards.
And Tombstone. Wouldn't-
It's a risky strategy, though, I would say. It's very risky.
Yeah.
But it does have lockdown for Storm, so I actually really like the Shadow Shaman pick. It works well on multiple fronts.
And we'll see what happens with that.
Mm.
Vici Gaming, certainly, they are taking the last chance.
EG, this good base defense and the push with Earthshaker, Midnight Pulse, the Zeus, Arc Lightning, they certainly have the tools to actually hold a good defense against the pushing lineup of VG.
Gods, coming super late game. Let's say Vici Gaming is trying to push and EG manages to hold for quite a while. Who do you think has the strongest lineup past 45 minutes?
I think it's going to come down to execution. I think the last big Shadow gives them a way of dealing with the Storm Spirit in the late game to some extent. But Storm Spirit late game, Enigma with Refresher Black Hole late game. I think maybe give Vici Gaming a slight edge, depending, because Ice, if his hook shots can find the Enigma during that black hole, that's going to be kind of the answer to the BKB black holes.
Ben, do you agree?
I like EG's lineup going late. I think a Storm BKB will just cause them way too many problems, on top of Juggernaut having magic immunity and Enigma having magic immunity at some point.
They have to finish the game.
Yeah, they have to end the game. I don't think this goes well past 50. It has to end, I would say, like ideally around 30 to 38-ish.
Well, we're going to the casters right now, but last word for Winter. Is EG going to take the 3-0? Yes, no?
No.
Okay, fair enough. That being said, we go to our casters. It's LD and Syndrome with Game 3 of the Dota 2 Asia Championship Finals. EG leads 2-0 versus Vici Gaming. Game 3 is underway.
All right, folks, welcome in. As Bruno stated very correctly, Vici Gaming, they're up against it now. I'm LD, joined here by Cinderin and Sind. I think if Vici Gaming win this game, they are going to reverse all kill EG. To me, I think that right now, their biggest issue is just momentum and maybe a little bit of confidence, but they got to get through this game 3 first. They won't be thinking that long term, and a Terrorblade picked up. This is not something we really expected. I don't think it was on EG's radar at all either.
No, it's like when it's your last chance to stay in the game, you pick Terrorblade for black, right? That's just it's fitting. And then if they lose with that, I guess in a way they can say they tried even their backup plan, in a sense, which I would consider this Vici Gaming. It looks like they're fairly intimidated when they draft like this.
I feel like you also look at that game 1 and perhaps Vici not really happy with what they got out of the Black Shadow Fiend. So that may be part of the reason we see Super handling it now.
And if the goal is to just have Black split pushing really hard and play a little bit more on his own, this is the hero for him.
Oh man. Witch Doctor Shaman, normally not your really heavy level 1 roaming supports, but they're already moving on to Sumail mid. He's going to get caught out. Looks like Vici Gaming are up to it again. They'll start off with the Shackles, now followed up with the double raise, and they've got the third if needed. It's not. This is when Vici Gaming are at their best. Early roaming, it's not a classic roaming duo, and because of that, PPD, he was fissure blocking bottom, I believe, to help out his offlane Zeus, and Vici Gaming identify that opportunity, able to get on the board first here.
Yeah, and he ran the long way around. PPD was somewhat expecting the gank, actually, but they came in at the perfect time when he was just out of range to help Sumail early on, and yeah, Super getting the first blood is definitely not getting the first blood, but mid lane
helping
being first blooded is definitely what they're looking for. I still don't think this is enough for Sumail to be dominated in lane. This is a matchup for me that Shadow Fiend wins on paper just one-on-one, but not by an extreme amount. So
and everything changes when Storm hits 6. If he gets 6 and he's got a decent amount of farm and has done okay in lane, can get a kill.
Oh, they're gonna lose the. Oh my God! Good awareness from Sumail. It's possibly gonna cost him his life, though, man. He's playing this perfectly.
Has the boots, but just a bit too slow to get in range.
No,
oh,
not so sure.
Still chasing, but Earthshaker coming into position. Now they're gonna have a fissure. Is it in time? 1 raise, 2 raise. They get the kill again. PPD.
He's like 2 seconds late both times in a row.
Poor guy. And the thing is, they picked this Earthshaker specifically so this type of thing does not happen. You do not look at a Shadow Shaman support pick and think, oh god, we gotta protect their mid against these constant rotations, but Vici Gaming, they're known for their early roaming when they win, and they're pulling it off here. Now they may set up on Universe, although for now, he's playing pretty far back in this bottom lane.
If he comes forward now, Fenrir's
the
gonna go
wraparound's
in.
coming! Looking for the backstab, can they get off that slow? I don't think they get in range for this. He'll be able to retreat. Now they're going to mid again. Looks like the Shaman is third time the charm as well. Well, first, second were Sumail trying to run in, dodge that last raise. It's not going to happen. FY and Fenrir just wrecking Sumail mid. He needs help, Send.
Yeah, and the problem for EG is that Ice has a really good matchup in the Clockwork versus Juggernaut. He's actually winning the lane. So PPD feels like he has to go top to help, and Sumail is just left on his own. He is gonna get crushed now. He is level 3.5 against almost a level 5 Shadow Fiend in mid. He has 600 gold to go for his bottle.
Just for his bottle. He has no boots either, which is an issue against this boots first Shadow Shaman.
He has effectively almost lost gold since the game started.
He can't even TP back to mid. That's how much he's died. He has to walk out, despite having the teleport scroll. And on top of that, the Terrorblade's free farming bottom. He's 17-4.
This is a solid recipe if you can get away with it. In hindsight, PPD should have played to mid until they see the lane shaping up and get some sort of intel. But Vici Gaming do get a really good opener. And now that...
Well, they're going on Universe. They're going to slow him down here with Reflection, and now out comes the Metamorphosis. They're going to go with the Cask here. I think 2-3 more auto tech should do it. There's your second, the third coming out, and Universe will fall as well. All 3 lanes.
And Fear doesn't have mana for spin. That means he has to be careful against Ice Ice Ice, who could technically cog him in. Seeing Ice 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 with the aggressive build too. He's maxing Battery Assault. We've seen quite a few Rocket Flare builds from himself and ROTK this tournament. Just look at Fear. He can't farm. This is a...
And let alone actually threaten for kills. Like, look at Eternal Envy when he's been playing the Jug safe lane. Almost every game he gets a kill around the 5-6 minute mark with Omni Slash, but... with no mana, not only is he not getting kills, but he has to be careful not to die. I want to point out FY has been just all over the place. Not just ganking, he was looking to secure that 4-minute rune for his team. He also was stacking the big camp for the Shadow Fiend. I don't know if he actually managed to secure the stack, but FY has been all over the places. There's going to be a little pressure towards the Enigma. Rotating in, though, is your Earthshaker.
Mid lane Sumail again.
Caught out.
He got a kill.
Going down.
And he got the kill before he died.
It's on a support Witch Doctor. It's something, but it's not great.
Oh, it's better than the last 3 times.
Yeah, by that measure, it's an improvement.
Yeah, I would actually say that's a very important kill because it gets him close to level 6. If he doesn't get the kill,
he's going to find Fear here. Walking into the shot. Battery Assault's there. Trap is sprung. He has the stick charges, but even with them, he's about 15 mana short for a Blade Fury. Fear may go down as well. Can he stay alive with this healing ward? Retreating slowly. Fissure will be there. Well, he lives in, but barely. And meanwhile, in the woods, there's going to be a rotation onto AOI 2000. Eidolon scouting this one out. They also got down a nice aggressive ward for Fenrir. Not sure if EG saw that one planted. Actually, 2. Really looking to keep the pressure up. They're looking to pincer this Enigma. AUI. Uh-oh. This could be trouble. Cask, is it going to bounce back to him is the question. He's caught by the Shackles. Maledict there. Rocket to follow it up. And with in fact, the Shadow Fiend, the one to claim it. Vici Gaming not at all phased by that 2-0 deficit. Just come out roaring in game number 3.
And we were talking about during the draft that we thought Void Skywrath would have been a nice combination for them to set up with the Clockwork for the mid game, to have some sort of more lockdown for the Storm with the Skywrath Silence, to just overall have a really solid team fight. But man, this Shadow Shaman pick has really worked out for them. It's always risky when you play this early game rotation with a Shadow Shaman, because if the ganks don't work, his recovery curve, it takes him very long to get back. But the Vici Gaming, even though they lost 2 games, they don't look like a team that's lost. Like all sorts of confidence.
They shook it right off, man. I mean, going for those smoke eggs. Imagine if those don't work. You're running a Shadow Shaman Witch Doctor. These heroes need their levels.
Some sort of bug with this. This is pretty funny, actually.
This is it's actually kind of reminiscent of that one game that Arteezy had. Oh, wow.
There we go. Okay.
It's the most friendly player of this event. I don't fully blame Sumail for it, especially not that first death or 2. Maybe the third you can say he's getting a little overconfident, but he did not have a good ward to protect him early against the ganks, and PPD was just a bit late every time. It's just one of those things where Vici were just one step ahead of them.
Actually losing his tower minute 7.
Oh my. And they don't even get the deny. Super a bit too quick. Now you're hook shot in from Ice Ice Ice. Universe looking to turn it. He will end up falling. It's a 1-for-1 thus far. FY going to cancel the Shackles. Super has a double damage rune, though they have to be careful. Sumail running low on mana. Raze is coming out again. They can't keep on losing this Storm Spirit. He'll die to the Maledict. Will it be enough to turn with the Black Hole from UI 2000? It is. They get 2 in the end, making it 4 in total. PPD coming up big with AUI, but Black wasn't there. He arrives quite late to the fight, actually.
What a huge buyback from Universe. He is just level 6, buys back, and as a result gets the ultimate off there, securing 2 kills that they wouldn't have got else.
Man, that was a pretty massive swing of momentum in favor of EG. Can't really be overstated. And that was without an Omni Slash, that fight. Storm really not having many items. Does end up dying again, though. Sumail still going to have a really...
He's got to find another kill, potentially on FY. He does not have the pull.
Oh,
doesn't matter.
FY just going to get blown up. Finally, EG able to get Sumail on the board. He even gets the kill.
He's now 4 and 5. He just found 4 kills in the last 2 minutes. That is pretty huge.
Yeah, especially when you look at his CS, only 30 at minute 8.
He's now second on net worth.
He goes from being like bottom 3 or 4 all the way up. How the tides have turned. Ice 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 is hunting, though. He's looking for PPD. Is he going to find an opening here? Fishing around for that hook shot. It's going to miss. PPD able to juke it, but still, they're going to run him down. Rotation could come from the Storm. Coming in as well as Universe. He'll bolt that illusion off the bat. Now they're going to slow him with Reflection. Do they actually engage onto this? The Storm zipping into the Cox, fighting Ice Ice Ice. Universe going to bolt him. Can Sumail finish the job? He drops that Remnant. Not enough for the kill. He'll jump in again. The raises from Super. Tried to predict where the zip would land and double raise him quickly, but Sumail able to dodge it. Coming right back in this game 3. As quickly as they fall behind, 8-7 your score. This started, was it 6-1 or 6-2?
Yeah,
It was
6-1.
brutal.
They were really far ahead, and now they're going extremely aggressive. Black and... who was that? It was Black and Ice 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 chasing in really far into EG territory with all the other heroes missing, and they get a good counterplay. At the same time, Fear not being challenged at all, and as a result, looking good at the top lane. Now Black's gonna get jumped with Omnislash and the Ball Lightning from Sumail. A lot of players would crumble under this kind of early pressure.
Guy
He's
died
totally bad.
4 times in the lane, and he's 6-5 at minute 9. Unbelievable. I mean, not just any player either. A 15-year-old wonder kid who's never played at a truly major land before this. This is some poise under pressure.
Maybe he's just like, this is what I usually do in my pub games. If someone camps me mid and they really want to gank me this hard, I've been in this situation a lot of times before. Yeah,
he's showing some
very
resilience
impressive.
here. And, well, on the back of that, EG start to make moves elsewhere. They're going to bring 3 heroes bottom. Super, FY, may get caught out here. Will there be a jump in? That's Storm off the map right now. He is smoked. He'll go for the zip. On to FY. Gets Hex quickly. Fissure coming as well. Will hit on 2. FY going to drop here. Zipping further. Looking for a bit more. Does he have the mana to go for additional kills? Doesn't look like it. But again, just keeps on finding his way back in this game. Meanwhile, top lane, the rotation from Ice Ice Ice. Fear has no Omnislash, but Ice 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 not going to engage into this.
These stats are ridiculous. He had the most deaths before minute 5,
and now
he
the
has the second most kills before minute 10.
This is a topsy-turvy game for the young
That's unreal.
NEL player.
Well, the bottom lane's going to get pushed by EG now. The only defensive hero for Vici Gaming currently is Fenrir, standing there with the mech. This is a big pickup for Shadow Fiend that could give them some sort of play potential. FY porting in, gotta get the Hex Shackle and the wards off. There's a Malekith,
finally kill Sumail, though he's able to zip out. Ice 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 hooking in. Sumail now out of mana. They'll push back. AOI 2000 with the cogs, getting the kill. But that looks like that's where it will end. In the meantime, Fear is going to take this opportunity to push that top lane. A lot of rotations just to kill an Enigma. And not, let's see, do they get an objective? I feel like they need to take this tier 1 as well on the back of that.
Well, Universe is in a pretty good position to defend this. He already pulled the wave as Black will pop
And they already
the
used the wards, so they don't have them for the push. They will get the tower, it looks like. But Fear gonna trade, so it's only a 1-for-1 tower. Do they go for 2 is the real question. They get the Hex off on Universe. Sumail zipping into the cogs, but they have no lockdown. That Zeus ulti coming out. Massive damage. Now the Omnislash. Black gonna get blown up. It's 3 dead for Vici. They're in danger here. Super needs to turn it. He tries to go into Universe. Blade Fury working him into Black Hole. It's gonna be 5. EG again. Outmaneuvering Vici Gaming in the clutch. A triple for Sumail. He's almost caught up to the enemy Shadow Fiend Sind. What a remarkable comeback this has been.
Man, that dive... Okay, we talked about Vici Gaming's super good early aggression. Now they're just... That is just way too deep to go on that play. They dive in behind the tier 1.
They had no wards.
They had no vision. They go on a Zeus blindly behind the enemy's tier 1. Easy Omnislash for Fear, and they... I think the mech might have not come out early enough to save a couple of targets, and Black never got his ultimate off. And as a result, they...
It's been
This
about a
is
5,000
insane.
gold swing. They get off to a 2,000 gold lead at like the 5-minute mark. And now it's EG at 12.5 minutes, leading by about 6,000 experience. And well, looking to see what Sumail will build as the game settles down potentially a little bit. What does he go for? It looks like he's actually rushing a Bloodstone. He's having such a good start. He feels confident in his ability to snowball. And truth be told, they do not have anything on a Storm later on. They have the Shaman Hex. But at some point, it gets to the stage where it's always the Storm initiating. And he'll probably even have a BKB or Linken's, at which point, whoever he jumps on is just going to die.
Everything they invested into in the early game has basically not paid off. It's hard to imagine Sumail would have done even better than this, but maybe he would, without all the ganks. And now,
or it could have been different, because I guess if VG Gaming don't get all those kills, they may not have played so confident and even over-aggressive.
That's true.
After the laning stage. So, well, it's hard to say that.
Zeus ultimate?
Used a scout. And they are beginning to siege with these wards. End of the day, Vici Gaming do have a fairly strong 5-man push, with the mech especially. But do they want to risk it? I'm also curious if PPD... No, he's not that close to the blink yet. Just the Tranquil Soul Rings, I imagine. But they're going for the siege now. In the meantime, Zeus just chilling, split pushing bottom lane. Storm, split pushing mid. The dual electricity gods avoiding this 5-man clash as Sumail will lay into the tower. In the mid lane, hookshot is going to connect, but only pushing him back, not enough to get the kill. He's got a bit too much mana. Tower into nigh range, I believe now, and the dire jungle. That's where the clash may take place. Fear coming in with an Omni Slash. It's level 2. There's creeps here though, and he's going to have to back out. In fact, do they try to run him down? A bit risky. They will back off. Both teams fencing around, and it's official. Your Storm Spirit now the most farmed here in the game. After 4 deaths in the laning stage, he's got a 14-minute Bloodstone with Treads, Bottle, and Magic Wand. One of the fastest Bloodstones you'll ever see. Unbelievable.
Yeah, FY has to play to the best of his ability now in this game. They need the hexes on the Storm Spirit every fight. If they engage a fight and use hex on someone else, he's going to have a free fight. Ice looks like he's working on a Blade Mail. That's also not going to counter the Storm at all. He can just ignore him and go on someone else. Someone is going to have to pick up a Hex or an Orchid, I think. The Shadow Shaman is not going to cut it.
And at the rate he's going, it'll be... I mean, he may have a blink fairly soon. Not 1,000 gold, still a ways to go for FY. And again, as mentioned, Shaman only going to be able to quote-unquote counter the Storm if he jumps him, which is not easy. Sumail with the fast Bloodstone. He'll be looking to pick up some charges here as they make their way into this Vici Gaming jungle. EG on the cusp of a potential 3-0 sweep, and in fact, they get up the high ground just as the Vici Gaming smoke comes out. Both teams might run into each other. PPD in front. He'll get hexed off the bat. Sumail trying to turn this fight, sipping here and there. Going on to FY, gets no kills. He's out of mana. He just has enough with that extra magic stick to zip on out of there. They lose their Earthshake off the bat, but it does cost them the Shaman wards. End of the day, they're not taking an objective. It's only a support Earthshaker, the 5-position support, and, well, Fear's just going to split push top. It works out pretty well for EG in the end.
Yeah, they win that exchange, for sure, unless if they lose Roche now. Vici Gaming are going to try to make this play.
They have to.
They have to do this. But it's so extremely risky. Maybe EG don't expect it. I think they might have had vision to see this movement.
They had that one ward, and they didn't see exactly where they went, but I believe they saw them moving down towards the rune, so... For EG, no Zeus ulti right now. Storm had to walk back to well. I guess just didn't have the tools they need to contest, but... Then the question comes in, how scary is an Aegis for Vici Gaming? Is this something EG even have to fight into? Because I kind of feel like they can just ignore the Aegis and just keep on finding pickoffs on the other heroes.
Yeah, just keep the snowball going for Sumail. He's working on an Orchid already. When he gets that, he can start solo killing the Shadow Shaman as well. Just play around the Storm Spirit as much as possible. Now that he's got so much momentum, Shadowblade's also going to come out for the Juggernaut when he wants to send that out. I think. Wait, no? He's buying a Battle Fury. As a matter of fact. With the Claymore.
Yeah, Perseverance now picked up. AUI 2000 going for a 4-staff. Very nice versus the Clockwork, of course. And it will help his Earthshaker as well if PPD does get caught. The rest of EG going for utility, and as this game moves along, they'll just be looking to buy time for Sumail to continue farming and building towards a fearsome late game. For Vici, what do you think is the next step, Sin? They have this Aegis, they had a great start, now they find themselves down 6k gold, up against the Snowballing Storm. What are the key steps for them to try and turn this around, would you say?
They need to try to find pickoffs where they set the tone of the fight by immediately finding a key kill that's not the Storm, because I think that's unlikely. But if they find the Storm, great. If they can't, start a fight and get the cogs placed very well, so jumping in for Sumail is difficult and he needs to use a lot of mana. And then the mech needs to be clutch every time. It needs to heal as much as possible, and...
Like, just healing one hero is not good enough.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He needs to counter-heal the Zeus ult. Right after the Zeus ult comes out, you pop the mech, and then you try to play around that. Maybe, if you can get away with a smoke gank and get into the enemy jungle, perhaps you can get a collateral tier 2 tower top with your Metamorphosis. The problem is that we've talked so much about Sumail in the mid lane, but Black is actually really not that farmed on the Terrorblade. With the dives they made bottom, with how much they committed and lost, he's not looking good. They're going to get PPD mid. This is a freebie. And
Your
the smoke
Shaker
gank
will end up going down.
is maybe gonna be successful here.
But
to
immediately
get them
EG
a
with the
tower.
response to push bottom. They know they're a bit weak in the 5-man fights, unless they get a big black hole, and it's tough up against the Aegis. So they just split push. I feel like EG just making all the right reactions. Like, sure, these moves from Vici Gaming are netting them kills, but EG are always finding a good trade. Tier 2 now going to go down bottom lane as an exchange, and well, the question is, do Vici push for high ground? They're holding the wards. Ice going to get caught out here in the jungle, though. They really would like to have the clockwork for the high ground breach, but he is wasting 2 arrows. Time he's he catches 2! Universe and AUI might both go down. They barely survive here, but they're so low. Meanwhile, the Requiem unwound. They have 2 heroes out of this fight. Omni Slash, not good enough. The mech is making the difference. Then the Sunder. Ward still surviving on the high ground. They go in with the Hex now. They could lose Sumail as well. He's got the Bloodstone deny, and he will pop it as soon as that Shackles ends. But they found the opening, sent straight onto high ground, looking for a quick lane of Rax. This is a lot to get out of the Aegis. Buyback for the Zeus, though. It worked once. Can it work a second time? Super just barely caught by the black hole. They're looking to wipe them all. The Witch Doctor going to get run down by your Storm, and they've still got a pull left for Super. He walks in. He wants to at least get Rax out of this. He'll get nothing. Pulled back. Wiped at the base. A triple for Sumail. Those Zeus buybacks twice now have just saved EG. Did he buy back?
It was only the Storm, right?
It was only the Storm. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. I thought he bought back.
Maybe he did. No, he didn't, because he never died to Ice
Never mind. He never died.
Still amazing.
He TP'd home and finally was able to get in the fight.
Ice might have just saved them the game. Catching out those 2 heroes there, sure, he didn't get the kills. If he gets the kills, it's even better. But just how much he delayed them allowed the team to push down mid, at least get a melee Rax. I don't think it's going to cut it. It's still a minute 20 barracks. It's really early on and puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team to clean up. Barracks generally start getting way less relevant around the 40-minute mark when heroes are so farmed that cleaning out the big creeps is no problem at all. But right now, these melee creeps in mid, they've got 730 health, and your heroes on EG hit for about 100 apart from Fear. So he's probably going to have a lot of cleanup duty in mid for the rest of the game.
I feel like at this point the big thing they need is that PPD Blink Dagger. He's died a couple of times. He's kind of been the sacrificial lamb, but the next time Vici Gaming go for the push, if they have the Zeus ult, the Storm Zip, and then the Echo Slam, that's so many ways to just instantly assassinate Vici Gaming heroes, and especially against a hero like the Terrorblade. That Echo Slam can be particularly devastating. He's almost got it too. Going high ground again against DG is going to get a lot harder with this Blink Dagger being picked up. Yeah. And at the same time, the Orchid as well.
Oh, boy. And he didn't lose his streak. So a kill on Sumail now is worth a lot of gold. They're 7,500 gold ahead. This is another thing we should remember. Vici Gaming have Rax against a leading team. So if they start getting fights going their way too, they not only, get a good fight in itself, but actually it's worth more than what you would expect out of a team that has Rax.
And they're just going to keep on pushing, it looks like. 4 heading top, they're leaving the Terrorblade mid, scouting in their jungle with Illusion, so fine AUI here. But they just want to keep this pressure up.
Yeah, this is... One way of doing it is just trying to brute force when they know Black Hole is on cooldown. And the Zeus ult was used for scouting, so they know they're not fighting into that either. And it could be enough. Ice in a decent position with his clockwork might be able to find the opening they're looking for, but... Now that the Storm has Orchid, I think they don't know that, by the way. Sumail could jump. He even has a double damage.
Oh, man.
To boot. If he finds
this
FY,
could also... It could be one of those things where you end up getting a little cocky as well, so... You have to be careful about how you engage. They smoke with PPD, but Sumail, it didn't clip him. So he's going to walk into the woods by himself. They're going to try to lead with that Earthshaker. Let the Storm come in after they identify where these heroes are. And I do want to point out, FY is just waiting in the trees. He's probably just hoping for that Blink Hex on the Storm, maybe the Enigma.
They've given up already.
But they're already going to back off.
This is a way too risky play. What they do accomplish, though, is they force the EG rotation. EG are scared of losing that top tier 2 tower.
Maybe they do go on someone here. They're still sticking around.
Yeah, they are going to have to wait longer. This Juggernaut's going to destroy them. Ice just going to rocket and TP out. Wasting a bit of Aui's time. He's going to go scouting here.
What's he? He's just waiting for an opportunity, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what he's waiting for, really.
It's a little odd. I mean, at this point, what are you actually going to... Maybe once this... I don't know. It's not like he can snipe the courier very easily. Huh. Well, either way, Vici Gaming going to back out.
We have some important items coming up now. Black almost has BKB. on the Terrorblade. He went Yasha BKB. I think this is the best choice in this game. He needed the Yasha for the farming speed, but if he goes for any regular Terrorblade build, he's going to get blown up in all the fights. Now he's going to be very strong against Sumail, very strong against Universe. The only real threat is either getting caught by a Black Hole and Omnislash, or just Omnislashed alone, but most of the time with Terrorblade, if he plays this right, he will actually be able to sunder one of his illusions, or be able to sunder... I mean, he can even sunder the Witch Doctor and sacrifice him. Sometimes that can win you a fight. I'm sure their communication is great for stuff like that.
Oh, here we go. They're smoking. They have a ward in the dire jungle. They're about to get eyeballs on someone as they move along. The Zeus now spotted out along with that Storm Spirit. He'll drop a Remnant. There's also a dire ward here. Depending on when the smoke breaks, they might end up getting vision. And they start to close the gap. They're trying to show the shadow feed. But Zeus ulti now pop. They're going to know something's up. Just in time.
Yeah,
Just in time.
Scouting Zeus ults are so good.
Even though the offlane Zeus is third from bottom in net worth, he has been massive for EG this game.
Yeah.
The buyback ultimate earlier, then just the getting back to Fountain and popping the ult right as Sumail respawned after the Bloodstone suicide, that leads to these 2 team wipes. Or I think it was 4 kills the first fight, but yeah, regardless. Amazing
the tower.
performance for an offlane Zeus. Now FY,
And Vici Gaming are not even ahead on towers, actually. The towers are live. It's a little bit more.
Just feel like all each move just been really polished. The heroes do think about back to 10. They immediately just push. Goes into position. We haven't I don't care about help these push a lot. This also is like immediately big ghost light. I mean, it's very pure core.
best big true a big part is in the game additional warding from you. This gem, if Vici can get the back, surprise, give the gem schlock and just have spawn a couple of bombs and go. You should hear what found ward this.
He's doing a pretty good the man. Something like though not quite at least know that the balloon see if you're about bigger now. Sugar. This is really gearing up to the black. The target bottom though. There's the shadow. Oh, the sun. No. Black speed. He's looking F4. Can he get LP? But everybody has spawned to it'll be beat up. This side having already used the hook shot has little left, and in the end, although they don't get the kill, they force out a BKB. They immediately black, and oh, they do get the shadow shopping kill, not the Terrorblade kill. I mean, but
yeah, that was still. Oh man, that hook shot from Ice was really close. Sumail, perfect jump. He jumps across the Terrorblade, making Black think he's the one getting initiated on. He pops the BKB in panic. Then he finds FY behind, who was trying to run in to help Black. He thought he was the one getting initiated on, and
it shows you how weak they are against the Storm jumps. Like, yes, you have Hex, but first of all, Shaman's the one you want to be jumping every fight, and secondly, you can just jump from much farther away, and you can silence him as you're coming in. So in theory, he might never get the Hex off. It's very tough. It's where like smoke ganks and just getting that vision advantage that you mentioned is so crucial.
EG, they're working on Roche. Black, the Ice will cut out the heal made with the illusion. There's a big not happy for the fight. And also, I'm gonna get a little from the arcane.
I'm flash on. Very dangerous to walk in this pit. They can't do it. There comes Super and as usual. No for you is Black Hole quickly cancelled though. Let them turn this one out. Over the old
seen the blue PPD and he gets the perfect jump onto 3 Echo Slams and melee range on all 3 of them. EG's extremely good at fighting in this area. Awkward to find that ship. I don't think he knew where he at the blink and here get kills no Roche.
Is this gonna be a 3-0? It's not over yet by any means. It's just more and more the grass going EG's way, and he will be 20 experiences, and the big thing is just how little they have to storm this farm, and...
Oh, and here comes a big item, BKB for off. Now, only the hookshot will stop him. And, yeah, the hookshot.
Basically, you can't just be holding your hookshot.
No.
He's the best going. Job can't be waiting, unless this is thing. They need him to try and jump that door, but... and even he needs the BKB. More offensive potential coming out. You can just see how aggressive he feels now. With the Aegis in tow, a regen rune in the bottle, he pushes the bottom lane past where the tier 2 once stood for Vici. EG, this game firmly in their grasp now. Did they lose? And I guess they lost the gem there as well,
yeah,
on top
PPD
of everything else. So, vision control, non-existent against a Storm, and a Juggernaut Mask Commandus Blink. You could get assassinated from anywhere. You honestly can't even really leave the base without seeing EG heroes on the map.
They are so cornered right now. When losing the gem and 5 heroes is arguably also a big deal. But without the gem, EG have the entire map. There is nowhere to go. Their lineup does not initiate well into the storm. They now have a Mantle block. I mean, there. It's shut down every fight. Black hole, and the Echo Slam is going to make it so much harder as well. We just saw it in the last fight PPD made. Did it shut their BK entire is the question. I think Black and Super survived, right?
Then they just got Omni. That's the problem.
Look at Sumail.
Gonna force out one BKB, then dips away. He throws this Generin. Full step back up. He's gonna heal right back up to full HP. He pops, but he pops the regen out. He may even look to go back in relatively soon. Still holding the Aegis. BG looking to split that boy shadow. It's not gonna be. It looks like maybe even back, just hiding in the trees for the time being. BG does go for another jump. Big leap forward. Dumel look to set up. I think that may have been spotted. The out. Looks like from his side potentially.
Actually,
was it?
Actually,
Maybe it was
Sumail's.
Maybe.
Don't think they saw it.
Oh, KB's dead. He did pop earlier. Well, Sumail not the opening. He doesn't want to go too risky. Well, top lane, Fear just pushing out this lane. It's also gotten biblical. We've hardly talked about the Juggernaut, but he's their most farmed hero.
Yeah, all that space in that Fear has made great use of it. With Battle Fury build up, farms so incredibly fast on the Juggernaut. 250 CS minute 31 is some of the highest you'll see for Jug, who isn't generally gets those extreme 10 CS per minute just because he doesn't have very effective farming tools, illusion-based.
And normally you don't go this way. Oh, super bottom lane. You can't leave the base anymore. Certainly not pushing that far. I see what you did there. Nicely done. Well, it gets harder and harder to see how Vici Gaming turned this game around. They can't leave the base. They don't seem to have the late game. Sure, you have Terrorblade, Shadow Fiend, 2 very hard right clickers, and a lot of physical DPS, but Storm can trump almost anything late with the necessary farm, and he's got it. EG feeling confident now as they push forward. They eradicate this last tier 2 mid. There is a buyback on Shadow Fiend for Vici, but buying back now just puts him even more in the hole. The Sumail will kill off an illusion here, continuing to siege. This time, looking for tier 3s. Aegis, still at the ready. He has the Bloodstone deny if he ever gets really into danger. Shiva's complete. Full offense from him, and a great item against all this physical damage. FY is trying to rat, but I don't think the wards will be enough. The buyback on the Shadow Fiend, and EG don't really care. They keep on pushing. Confident in their ability to take this Rax. They leave Sumail up front, he'll lay into the buildings, and nobody jumping him. Unless they go soon, he's going to be the one who initiates. He jumps in right onto Fenrir, blowing him up with Fear at his side. The Omni Slash gets it done. Now, Sumail focusing back on buildings. Black will try to lay into Fear, but he just doesn't have the firepower to bring him down quickly enough. And now the Black Hole. Where's that hook shot? It's not coming from Ice Ice Ice. There's no way to stop this. They lose now the Terrorblade hook shot, only popping the Aegis. AUI having already Black Holed. What does it really matter if you kill him off? And now the Storm cleanup might begin. FY next on the list. It's 3 dead. It might be 4. Buyback coming out from the FY Shaman, but he's got no wards. Oh, is it even worth it? Super's bought back, FY's bought back, and still they keep on racing in. Do they get the bash on Super? Yes, they do. It's a dieback on the channel feed. It'll pop as well. Ice maybe next to Mel. No mercy now. On to FY. No, we'll pass by him for Ice, and he'll back off for the Shaman. Dieback after dieback. Vici Gaming in shambles. It's a 3-0. EG just won over $1.3 million. They are your Dota 2 Asia Championship champions. What a performance.
So good drafting in all 3 games, and the play to go with it. The way they played today, fully deserved. There was
Great play
all the 3 games were
Didn't
so
show any nerves. Delivered every game. The entire EG team though as well. Like everyone showed up to play. PPD, his drafts came together perfectly. Even this game 3 looked like things were going really poorly from the get-go with the lanes, with Sumel dying as many times as he did, but EG didn't get rattled at all.
Absolutely not. And Sumail started losing the lane pretty bad. He died 4 times before the minute 5 winter, but what happened then? Did he take his spinach?
I think someone mentioned, like, because I think the caster said BG were ahead, they were playing very aggressive and they got punished. Like, it started during the dive in the mid lane where they actually overextended, and then the Fissure called them out. The black hole plus the buyback Zeus ultimate, that was the point I would say was most crucial for the whole game. The black hole plus the buyback.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, it was team fight after team fight of wiping. Vici Gaming actually manages to take a set of Raxes in the mid push, Ben, but after that, they couldn't capitalize. Was that Shadowfiend and Terrorblade not good enough at that moment of the game?
I mean, Enigma had a couple of crucial black holes, like one in between the T1 and the T2 on the right side, and he just made like 3 for 3s, like 3 for 5s. And I mean, Sumel just got way too fat too. That guy has so much talent. Like on the bottom lane, they Zeus ult. I think most people would have backed when they saw all 5 heroes around there, but he zips in, kills FY, gets Black's BKB, and then gets out. On the bottom lane too, he also had Orchid regen. He like
That's not your trophy, Ice. The old man.
The sword in the stone.
Finally, Fear.
King Arthur Fear, Lord of the Britons.
That is cool. That the sword comes out.
He's like, PPD, take it.
Give it to the kid.
Yeah, they had to give it to Sumail, kind of. Feels very well deserved. But PPD, this guy, his drafts so on point, and people question him, his ability to play. They were, this guy, very good drafter, skill-wise, you know, average, not bad. But this tournament, especially his last 2 series, he's been amazingly on point. His Lion yesterday, his plays with the Earthshaker today. PPD, what a player.
What a mistake kicking Aoi. I had to
I
reiterate
know,
that.
right?
Yeah, Aoi's loving life. He's like, man, I'm off of that goddamn second place team. Like, this is what it feels like to actually win.
Yeah. Whew. And it's big win as well. Universe, the most composed of players. I love that guy. Like, I have to say, Universe is one of the most down-to-earth players in Dota 2, and I'm happy that he gets all this because he's one of the guys that totally deserves it. Of course, there's going to be some money coming to Vici Gaming. It's $366,000, so not bad. Let's see if that's enough for them to keep together. But the big prize comes to EG, and it's, as we were saying, $250,000 each of the players. That is how much, before taxes, before cuts and whatever. I know what PPD is going to do with that money. He's going to go on holidays to his favorite Salt Lake City. We'll see what Sumail does.
You were hoping EG would win, just so you could say that.
I'm so happy. I'm fulfilled.
Bruno,
Yes.
I want to play NEL more.
You want to play NEL more? Okay, let's hear the audio for this right now. We have the audio, so let's hear it.
我们知道在之前圣格鲁的较量中，其实他们是输给 Vici 的。我想知道在做这个赛前的准备的时候，到底发生了什么，让他们能够在2天之内有这么大一个就是优势吧？可以说是3比0击败对手，赢得非常漂亮。
So previously you've lost to Vici in the playoffs. So what happened last night? Did you do any preparation that made you guys have such an advantage today with a 3-0 win?
I think after that game we evaluated our attitudes basically. We were down on ourselves and pointing out mistakes too much, and we just kind of fixed that and kept our attitude and like positive, I guess, and that helped a ton for us.
我们在比赛之后调整了自己的态度，然后也检讨了一下自己，所以我们就是态度好了之后。
那大家应该有注意到，在这个班选的时候，他们有特别是针对一下 VS 和火枪这2手英雄。那我们知道负责 BP 的是这个咱们的PPD 同学，想问一下，就是他对于这样的一个班。
So we've noticed that you banned Venge Spirit and Sniper. Can you tell us a bit of the process of doing that ban?
We actually really struggled against Sniper when we played against Vici yesterday, and then they also beat a lot of teams during the group stage as well, and during the playoffs with Sniper. And it was just a hero we're not totally sure how to beat right now, so we just banned it out. They had a ton of success with it, and we had no success against it. So.
其实我们很挣扎，就是在小组赛的时候 ，VG 也同样用Sniper。打败了很多，对，火枪手打败了很多队伍，然后我们也不知道怎么去打败他，所以我们就ban了他。
好，那么在这个整场表现，应该说一级的每个选手表现都很棒，所以想问一下这个队里的老大哥Fear，请他帮我们点评一下自己的4位队友的表现。
So everyone did extremely well today, but can you comment on all of the players and how they did today?
I mean, it was a team effort. Everyone played extremely well, and we helped each other when we're having a hard game, and we just pulled through.
所有人都打得非常好，然后这是一个团队的游戏，然后我们都互相帮助，所以就打成这样子了。
应该说在这几天的这个比赛里面，EG的中单选手15岁的这位选手，受到了所有的中国粉丝，包括世界粉丝的一个喜爱。来谈谈他吧。
So in the past few days, everyone grew to love Sumo, who's only 15. Can we talk to you for a little bit?
如果有人提议让他来冠名蓝猫这个英雄，他会觉得感到意外吗？
If we name you the new Storm Spirit as Sumo, what do you think of that?
I'll be really happy. I think I deserve it.
我会很开心，然后我也觉得我自己值得这个称号。
你们觉得呢？再想问一下 Smile， 然后应该说在中国也有很多年轻的玩 Dota 的玩家，可能有一些年龄和他差不多，甚至比他还要小一些。想问一下，怎么样才能成为这样的天才的少年？
So this question is also for Sumel. In China, there are many players who are the same age, or maybe even younger than you are. Do you have any points for them to how to become a player like you?
Just work hard. Don't lose your passion. What can I say? Yeah, it's really hard to become like me.
其实我觉得成为我确实很难。
虽然很内敛，但是其实内心还是非常的骄傲啊。好，那还有2位没有说过话啊。我们先问一下这个2000哥，觉得自己这一路走来的表现怎么样？同时，现在的这个喜悦最想分享给谁
This question is for Aoi-chan. What do you think of your progress along in this tournament, and who do you want to share this championship with?
Coming into this tournament, I don't think we're that confident on winning just because we're a reformed team. Other teams looked really strong. And I don't know, progressing through the tournament, we learned a lot during the tournament. We trust each other more, we played better. Everyone sort of got into sync. And yeah, shout out to someone, is that? Yeah, shout out to my girlfriend. Thanks for supporting me.
来这比赛之前，其实我没有很大的信心，因为我们队伍刚刚重组了，然后其他重组的队伍都很强势。但是在比赛的过程当中，我们互相了解了，然后也学会了互相信任。最后想跟我的女朋友说一声，因为谢谢她支持我。
我把这个信息传递出去了。那想问一下 Universe 啊，那同样是这次表现也是非常出色。我想请他评价一下，在整个比赛的这届大赛的历程当中碰到过的所有的对手，他觉得可能和他们势均力敌的，或者说他认为这次的比赛当中表现是一流的这几支队伍有哪些
So, as in Universe, you played extremely well in the tournament. In all of your experiences in the tournaments you've participated in, which teams do you think are as good as you are, or your strongest opponents?
Well, I think every tournament we've played in, Vici's always been there at the top. So I'd say Vici's one of the strongest teams we've played against, and Ice is a really good offlane player, so it feels good to beat him.
在我们参加所有大赛当中 ，VG 其实都在那里，所以我觉得 VG 是我们最强的对手。然后 Ice 三兵其实是一个很强的猎单选手，所以打赢了他我很开心。
好，那么想再问菲尔一个问题，因为今天其实，在翻论坛的时候，有看到网友说，当初大家很多人都看过《Free to Play》这部影片，当时菲尔提到在赢得了那次比赛之后，他回去买了一张新的桌子。我想问，今天之后。 他会想去买一个新的什么东西
Alright, so many players and many viewers have watched Free to Play, and everyone knows that since you won your first tournament, you bought a new desk. So after this tournament, what are you going to buy?
I've been winning a lot of tournaments since this one, and I already bought a new car, so I don't know. I'm just going to save money up. I don't know what to do with it.
我在这个比赛之前，其实赢了挺多比赛的，然后我也买了新车，所以我会存起来吧。
好的，那最后，想问一下我们的这个一级战队，还有什么想要分享给所有支持他们的粉丝们，一级的粉丝们
So lastly, is there anything else that you would like to share with your fans?
Well, I'd like to shout out to all our fans in China here, for starters, and thank you for supporting us.
我想对我中国所有的粉丝说谢谢你，然后谢谢你支持我们。
掌声再次送给 DAC 的冠军战队 ，EG 战队。本届的 Dota 亚洲邀请赛到这里也就全部结束了，感谢大家的收看和支持。希望所有的中国的队伍也好，国外的队伍也好，继续能够给我们带来精彩的比赛。让我们下一次的 Dota 大赛再见。
队都选出他们公认的队内最帅的一位选手。好，我们先进What's happening? Hey.
You all handsome, don't worry, guys. So we're gonna have two stops. First is choose the most handsome one in your team.
6000差一点，建议，那也至少在5500以上了，是吧？
I've got to say, ranking from TI2 ending ceremony to 10, that was like at least an 8. I was very hooked by the music, in particular. I felt like I was ending a 90s movie, and things were going that way. But EG looked very happy. Sumail looked very confident about himself. We expect nothing less but a lot of great things about these teams. Let's not forget also Vici Gaming. Whether they're going to keep playing with the 5 or not, I don't know. I think Black made a lot of merits to show that he's actually individually a good player. It's going to be to whether they can actually communicate together or not. Guys, what do you think about Vici Gaming?
Well, I think the most important thing about Vici with Black is the communication issue, like you mentioned. It's if they can actually get a good enough replacement and a person that can communicate well, I would foresee that Vici would actually just make a replacement. But he is a very skilled and mechanical player. He's like one of the best in terms of his position. It's just difficult to learn the Mandarin language in a short period of time, and in the games it was evident that he wasn't understanding his teammates very well.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we're wrapping up what was, I want to say, 11 or 12 days. I think something like that.
Yep.
It was 12 days because we had 1 extra days with the tiebreakers. 12 days of coverage of the Dota 2 Asia Championship. We can only expect more tournaments like this in the future. I think Perfect World have to be happy with the outcome of this. In the meantime, we'll have to make do with the International, which I think is a pretty good tournament on its own. But of course, there's going to be more ESLs, the Summit, DreamHacks, MLGs, and there's a lot of Dota for you guys to enjoy out there, and also for the players to keep playing. So I want to say personally a big thank you to everyone here. It was really, really fun to be able to be with you and share with you here in LA. A lot of great moments, great matches. Winter, I'm glad that you came here.
Finally.
Yes.
I made the long journey.
You made the long journey. Did you enjoy it?
Yes. Every moment of it.
Yes. American Winter.
I love having all the people at the house. It's always nice during qualifiers and the summit, and it's great finally seeing Winter. Hello. Hello, twin.
So, anyways, we hope to see more of you, Ben, in whatever endeavors you're going so far right now. I know.
Thanks, Bruno.
Yeah, we'll see. It's up to you, but we'll see what happens there. Guts, always sharp. Love the bow tie.
Thank you.
Always charming.
Always
coming
charming.
from you, that means a lot.
Yes.
You're always so well dressed. It's been amazing having you here as well. Like being able to share the DAC experience with Bruno, getting Weppers getting the Dota Cinema guys, Suns fan Syndrome. It's been just a ton of fun, and for us, it was just an amazing, very special event.
But not LD. LD sucks.
Well, LD's always here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about our guests and visitors.
Fair enough. K-pop, by the way, other person that was here and one of the most hardworking guys. But I do have a list of people that I want to shout out. Unfortunately, the list is not under my eyes, and now it is. So, no, it's gone. It's just like way too many people, so that's why we made the list so we couldn't forget. So let's start. First of all, most importantly, I want to make I want to separate him. Cuddle Guy. He's been casting the group stages non-stop. He had one stream all by himself. We were super comfy here. We were just like, oh, we'll take turns, we'll rotate. I was in the panel for 5 minutes, and then I went just like watch the games. But he was there full time all the time. So big shout out to him. And some of his co-casters as well. He had Blaze, Mott, F4L, Fogged, Ryuboros, and any other co-broadcasters that we may have missed. Also Lumion Blitz that came here as well. So it's cool. I think Blitz is now already in Germany. So he's going to have some adventures there as well. McCormick and Wait to Death, their constant hard work was pretty amazing, and all the standard deviants who help with research prep materials. Matthias and Mali for the help with coordination, and all our amazing fans. I am Ron Burgundy. And all our amazing fans. Thank you all very much. It's been great, and we hope to see you again. What does Beyond the Summit have in store for us in the near future?
We're going to be coming back with the Summit 3 soon.
Soon. Is it a Valve kind of soon?
No, it's a BTS kind of soon.
And you give me a month?
Yeah. We're going to, at end of February, I believe we'll be starting our qualifiers and online play, and then the LAN finals will be in May.
Okay, that sounds great. As for the good studio, I don't know what you're expecting. Come on. Yeah. Let's be honest, right? But
congratulations to EG, of course, for being crowned the best in the world at the moment.
Best in the world.
Best in the world. Good feeling.
It's only them to lose. So we're going to wrap up here. Once again, thank you very much. It's been an honor to be in front of your screens, entertaining you day and night. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
At eBettle, we have made it simple for you to join in on the action. You can bet real money on your favorite teams and the biggest tournaments in eSport. It's so easy that everyone can do it, but remember, you have to be at least 18. Combine your winning betting slip and make the victories even more glorious. Join us on the front row and experience a greater world of esports betting. Trust your knowledge and bet now. Go to ebettle.com. The game begins with you.